During Europe's Middle Ages, the knowledge and advancements in healing arts that had been developed during the Roman Empire were largely lost or forgotten. Medical care was limited, with few trained doctors or hospitals available to the general population. Instead, traveling physicians offered limited medical treatments, often with little knowledge or understanding of the human body. In contrast, medical science flourished in the Islamic Golden Age. Scholars and physicians made significant advances in areas such as anatomy, surgery, pharmacology, and medical ethics. These developments were based on earlier Greek, Roman, and Indian medical knowledge, which was translated and further developed by Islamic scholars. The movie opens with a glimpse into the harsh realities of life in 11th century England, where we meet the resilient protagonist, Rob Cole. As the eldest child in his family, Rob is burdened with the responsibility of being the sole breadwinner. He works in the perilous mines, trying his best to provide for his mother and two younger siblings. One day, a traveling physician known as Barber arrives in Rob's town. With his captivating charm and enigmatic persona, Barber claims to possess the power to cure a variety of illnesses. That night, Rob's mother suffers from excruciating pain due to a mysterious disease. When he puts his hand over her chest, he feels something scary and quickly backs away, fearing that his mother is going to die soon. He goes to fetch the only medical practitioner in town, Barber. The latter agrees to help, but when they arrive home, a lot of people have already gathered. Since medical science is considered witchcraft, the people forbid Barber from treating the woman. Unfortunately, this turns out to be a bad decision as the woman slowly succumbs to her disease, much to the dismay of her children. The following morning, the two younger children are taken away by the townspeople, along with the household utensils. Now Rob is left on his own with no one to care for him. So he turns to the only person who has shown him any kindness, Barber, the wandering physician. Although hesitant at first, Barber feels pity for the boy and eventually decides to take him under his wing as his apprentice. As the years pass by, Rob and Barber traverse different lands, healing the sick and injured together. Along the way, Rob grows from a vulnerable child to a confident and capable young man. Despite his newfound skills and knowledge, however, he remains curious about the human body and longs to explore its inner workings. He is also desperate to learn about appendicitis, the illness that took his mother's life. One day, Rob tells Barber that he wants to see what lies beneath the skin of a human body. However, since operations and surgeries are considered punishable by law, Barber warns him to never speak of such things again. Months later, Barber's failing eyesight due to cataracts begins to hinder his work as a physician. One day, a farmer arrives at their wagon seeking a tooth extraction. As Rob assists in the procedure by holding the patient still, he feels a familiar sensation of impending death. This is the same sensation he noticed the night his mother passed away. Lo and behold, the patient also passes away on the table, proving his hunch correct. After a while, a distraught Rob confides in Barber about what he experienced. He says that he can sense if a person is going to die. However, Barber dismisses his concerns as mere superstition, unwilling to believe that Rob possesses any special gift or intuition. That night, a mob of angry townspeople gather outside their wagon, accusing them of witchcraft and blaming them for the farmer's death. They then beat up the two and throw them out of their city.
Hey you! Stop helping!
Yeah, stop helping us out.
Despite his vision problems, Barber continues to teach Rob the basics of medical treatment and entrusts him with the care of their patients. As his condition worsens, he is forced to rely more and more on Rob's skills and expertise. One day, a patient suggests that Rob take his master to a Jewish healer, as they are known to have the ability to cure blindness. Rob is skeptical since blindness is considered almost impossible to cure in these times, but nonetheless, he decides to give it a try as he is desperate to help his master. The following morning, Rob and Barber arrive at the Jewish doctor's residence and begin the treatment. The procedure takes days and nights, but at the end, Barber miraculously gains his eyesight back. Rob is stunned that medical science has come this far, so he curiously asks the doctor where he got all of his information from. In response, the latter reveals that he was taught by the greatest physician of all time, Ibn Sina of Isfahan. Amazed, Rob expresses his desire to travel there, but the doctor reveals that he will be killed before he can reach it. He further explains that in the land of the Muslims, they do tolerate the Jews, but not Christians. This is a heavy blow to Rob's aspirations, but he is still determined to make it to Isfahan and learn under the tutelage of Sina. His dream is to become a Hakim, the greatest of all the healers. Barber tries his best to talk Rob out of it, but the boy seems to have made up his mind. He is tired of the incompetence of the medical treatment they have been performing until this day. So in order to broaden his knowledge, Rob bids goodbye to his master and starts the new journey of his life. After traveling for many months, Rob arrives in Egypt. Before leaving for Isfahan, though, he decides to disguise himself as a Jew to avoid any potential danger. He undergoes circumcision, and adopts the name Jesse Ben Benjamin to blend in with the Jewish community. He also watches every episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm for preparation. During his journey, Rob joins a group of Muslim travelers and meets a woman named Rebecca. As they travel together, they come across a village that has been recently attacked by the Seljuks, a group of nomadic tribes who believe they are chosen by Allah to punish sinners. The only survivor of this attack is a little girl, whom Rebecca decides to take with her. Rob, using his medical expertise, helps take care of the girl, impressing everyone around him. In the next scene, the group is caught in a terrible sandstorm in the desert. Many are killed on the spot, while the others get lost in the chaos. At the end of the day, only Rob and one other person remain. However, when the other person catches Rob praying to Jesus at night, he attacks and kills him, leaving Rob to continue on his own. And after a few more days of excruciating walking, he finally makes it to Isfahan. Rob rushes to enroll in the medical school, hoping that he can finally meet the legendary Ibn Sina. But to his misfortune, he is not only rejected, but also beaten by the guards and left on the street. Later on, he is found by a man who takes him inside a room and arranges for him to receive personal treatment from none other than Ibn Sina. Rob cannot believe that he has finally met the best physician in the world. And to top it off, he is also accepted into the medical school, making him scream in joy. As the days pass, Rob gets information about various diseases, which were considered incurable in his country of England. But here, they are mere illnesses, which can be treated with simple remedies. One day, Rob learns that Rebecca is still alive, so he excitedly goes to meet her. However, his expression quickly changes when she reveals that she is going to marry a wealthy businessman. That night, after treating a sick woman, Rob has a heartfelt conversation with Ibn Sina. He talks about his childhood, explaining that his mother died of appendicitis and that no one was there to save her. He also reveals that he can sense if a person is going to die. Rob wants to learn everything he can about medical science, but he is disappointed that even this advanced hospital doesn't have the means to cure appendicitis. In response, Ibn Sina says that surgeries are considered sinful in this part of the world too. But maybe, in the next 1,000 years, things will change. And it will, though I'm not sure if it's for the better. The next day, Ibn Sina brings Rob with him when he is summoned to the palace by the emperor, Shah. It is revealed that the Lord of Seljuks had sent his son to propose a peace treaty, but the Shah beheaded him and sent his severed head back as a refusal. In retaliation, the Seljuks send a man infected with the Black Death disease to Isfahan. He walks around the city, making sure that his disease can spread far and wide. When he is finally discovered, chaos spreads throughout the city like wildfire. Ibn Sina and Rob have a discussion with the Shah, where they urge him to evacuate the city to save its citizens from the deadly plague that is spreading rapidly. However, the Shah disregards their advice and takes no action. Instead, he asks Ibn Sina to accompany him in his hunting expedition through the forest.
Black Death, schmack death. It's quail season, baby.
The latter swiftly refuses and chooses to stay with his students and confront the outbreak. In no time, infected individuals start pouring in, and the hospital becomes crowded with patients. As the situation worsens, the soldiers close the gates of the city, allowing only nobles to leave. Rebecca's husband is one of them, and he leaves her to die alone. Fortunately, Rob finds her in the nick of time and brings her to the hospital. He takes care of her day and night, and also reads her stories. Meanwhile, Ibn Sina is determined to find a cure for the disease and analyzes the situation. He concludes that the fleas found on mice are the vectors for spreading the disease from corpses to the living. As a result, he orders the immediate termination of all mice. Slowly, the patients begin to recover and the city reverts to its normal state. Rebecca also becomes healthy, and one day she ends up having coitus with Rob, and all it took was a little mouse genocide. In the next scene, all the wealthy people return to the city, including Rebecca's husband. Hence, she reluctantly has to go back with him, despite her newfound love for Rob. Meanwhile, the Shah arranges a celebration to honor Ibn Sina and his students for their brave efforts during the epidemic. After the hospital resumes its services, Ibn Sina assigns Rob to take care of the new patients, one of whom is suffering from acute appendicitis. The patient is a Zoroastrian who asks Rob to leave his body for the vultures after his death, as they believe this cleanses their souls. Rob assures him that everything will be fine, but even after his best efforts, the man eventually passes away. Initially, Rob is distraught, but then he remembers that Zoroastrians don't mind if their bodies are dissected. So, he takes the corpse to a secluded place and performs an autopsy on it. He meticulously studies the human anatomy and also locates the vermiform appendix. Rob even records his research findings in papers, which he keeps safe. During the course of the next few days, the royal mullahs of the city begin a revolt against the Shah. The reason is that they don't want other communities residing in their Muslim land. In this instance, they join forces with the Seljuks to achieve a common goal of banishing the Shah and the Jews. I'm sorry. It's not funny. The ultimate aim is for the mullahs to rule over Isfahan, with the Seljuks using it as a stepping stone to conquer all of Persia. Meanwhile, Rebecca discovers that she is pregnant with Rob's child and goes out to look for him in the city. To her dismay, she sees him being taken away by the mullahs, who have accused him of necromancy due to his research on human anatomy. To make matters worse, her husband finds out about her adultery and hence sentences her to death by stoning. The following day, Rob is brought to court, where the mullahs accuse him of being a necromancer and portray Ibn Sina as his accomplice. They also present the dissected body as evidence against them. As a result, the court sentences them both to death. The common people are enraged that a Jewish man has come to their city and committed a sin, so they hurl angry comments at him. This makes Rob very upset. So to save himself and also the Jewish community, he confesses that he is actually a Christian. Unfortunately, no one believes him.
Yeah, look at his dick, he's a Jew.
And his sentence is not reversed. Inside the confinement cell, Rob pleads for his master's forgiveness. Ibn Sina tells him that he considers him his greatest student, who has contributed greatly to the field of medical science, but his recklessness will now cost their lives. During their final hours inside the prison, Rob shares his knowledge with Ibn Sina, describing the internal organs and his life experiences with them. Just when it appears as if all hope is lost, the Shah orders them to be freed. It turns out he is also suffering from appendicitis, that's lucky, and is slowly succumbing to the sickness. He knows that Ibn Sina and his student have the cure, so he wants to try it out, even if it means dissecting his body. Rob promptly agrees to help him, but only if Rebecca is freed. The Shah, having no other choice, orders his soldiers to fight the mullahs and bring her back, which they do in the nick of time. After all the preparations are done, Rob starts the surgery on Shah, assisted by Ibn Sina and some other students. It is a nerve-wracking moment for him, as something like this has never been carried out anywhere in the world. But using his knowledge from the previous dissection, he successfully removes the affected appendix. The Shah is now out of danger, and to repay the favor, he promises to help Rob secure the safety of his people. He orders his soldiers to escort the Jewish community out of the city and provide them with all the necessary resources for their journey. Outside, the war between Isfahan and the Seljuks has erupted, with the mullahs attacking the city and burning the hospital. Rob and others gather people around the east gate to flee the city, but Ibn Sina is nowhere to be found. Worried, Rob goes back to the hospital and discovers him there, staring into the abyss. With tears in his eyes, the greatest physician of all time hands Rob the medical records book and addresses him as Hakim Robert Cole. He then stays in the room to die, while Rob reluctantly escapes through the exit. Following this, he, along with the others, manage to escape through the gate and leave the city behind. At last, Rob's dream has come true. He has become a renowned physician and operates a hospital in the bustling city of London, where all kinds of ailments can be treated. He is living his dream life with his wife Rebecca by his side. One day, the old barber learns about his apprentice's success from a little boy who has recently been to the hospital. The movie ends as the two chat all the way there, with Barber boasting that he taught Rob how to be great. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.